explanation going on with the
having
folks at the scorer's table.
Yeah, having a little issue with the possession arrows on the, must not be lighting up on the board down there.
Maybe if they spray it with cleaner, that'll fix it. Oh, I think that's actually what it is. They are going to use, hey, this is creative. They're going to use the bottle of sanitizer as the possession arrow.
Well, I guess you use what you got to.
Whatever works. Tried and true.
Yeah.
Down there, the official score, rocking the ETC net gator as Emma Callahan hits from downtown. She's 2 of 2.
And there's turnover calls by that press again.
Hey, and if 2 is good, you go for the third one, and third time not the charm for Callahan as she shoots an air ball. Lady Cats with a 9-7 lead with 5 minutes left in our opening period. This first period brought to you by our good friends at Shane's Rib Shack. We appreciate them, of course, sponsoring our live action here on ETC.
I visited them the first of the week.
It's always a good place to go. Get your little peach cobbler while you're there. Can't beat it.
You know, I think this is another place where the size is showing up, size difference.
Very poor foul call by the officials right there. Beth Burnett pokes the ball away, and they get Emma Deaton with a foul. The official was way out of position to call that, but
North Hall's guards are pretty small, and Gilmer's size and experience.
that one was right in front of us. Beth Burnett slapped the ball away, and immediately the whistle came out. Penetration and kick out for the 3. It's missed, but the rebound, another shot from way outside. Can't get that one to fall, but the third possession here for North Hall.
You know, and that's one thing. North Hall is doing a good job on the offensive boards. That's something Gilmer doesn't usually let happen.
Kate that time with the shot from downtown. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left here. Lady Cats trail by 1. Beth Burnett lets it go from outside, so let's just have a 3-point shooting contest here tonight, why don't we? Gilmer certainly capable of hanging in that. Cape almost hits another one just a little bit short, and there's a whistle. Some debris on the floor.
That's one of those volleyball covers that are kind of dangerous sometimes.
So got that problem situated. Look, we fixed so far we fixed the court, we fixed the possession arrow. I mean, we're doing all right here inside the cage on a very cold January night.
These officials are going to get a maintenance fee here tonight, taking care of everything.
Good. Callahan gets it down low, can't get it to fall, but Lark Reese with the rebound puts it up, can't get it to fall. Caldwell penetrates but has it poked away, and Ellie Callahan is shoved to the ground. Just a little bit of chaos here. Everybody trying to get their bearings early in this game. It's Peach that ends up with the shot. And Callahan with the rebound, and Gilmer pushing ahead.
Tell you what, this, I'm sorry, as North Halton, they're pretty scrappy.
Absolutely. Quick hands, you notice, and they're able to get and slap that ball away. As you mentioned, well-coached veteran coach. I believe they're going to get Lark Reese on that one.
Oh.
Well, they're going to get Callahan. I believe they missed that one, but okay, I'm sorry. They did get it right. Reese was standing there beside her, but it was Callahan, so good job by the officials. Little Euro step that time by Emma Callahan, and she's going to get an and one opportunity. That's Cape with the foul.
Tell you what, that's 8 points already for Emma Callahan. Chance to make it 9.
Man, her senior season there, having a great start. This Lady Cats team has big aspirations in the region. This would be a big win here tonight against one of the really good region teams. Coach House going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside and take it with her and be right back. 15-10, Lady Cats. So Coach House gives her final instructions to this young Trojan team. As we mentioned, mostly sophomores out there. I think a couple juniors, she said, and no seniors at all. But a team that is fundamentally sound, well coached, and hanging tough with this Lady Cats team.
They really are. And, you know, once again, the advantage goes to the Lady Cats with the length. And that's an example of it right there, is getting those traps, and they're so much bigger. Will be in a push in the back there. That is A.B. Gilmer.
That's her first.
You know, yesterday with all the weather predictions, I was really worried about us getting here today, but glad there was no problems.
Beth Burnett certainly glad about that as well. She's 2 for 2 from downtown to start this. So Gilmer extending that lead, and it's been really, we thought there would be a size advantage, but it's been the three-point shooting so far for the Lady Cats. They are doing very well from downtown. Hope Caldwell has had a really good career here. They're going to miss her when she's gone. Played alongside Bailey Teague for 3 years and now leading as the point guard. She's been a really good stabilizing force, and it helps when you can pass it down low to a 6-foot post player as well as Ellie Callahan's up and in.
And you know, I can remember Coach Nunn having these girls when they were young, and just, I mean, it's really continuity helps, because when they're young, middle school, getting the same coaching that they're getting now, that really makes a difference.
It does. We've upgraded our possession arrow. I don't know if we can get a shot of it or not. It is now a piece of paper with an arrow going one way and the other, and they're using the cell phone as the paperweight and just switching it every time. So we've upgraded our standards here.
That was an example of one too many passes being too unselfish. Oh, nice block. Hope Caldwell with block.
Emma Deaton, she always ends up right there. Usually the shot goes a little better than that, but she's sort of good at finding that space in the middle and dropping it in. That time, not able to do it though. Minute 19 seconds left in this Shane's Rib Shack first quarter. Lady Cats started off slow, but they've heated up, especially from outside. Beth Burnett and Emma Callahan each with 2 3-pointers, and then Ellie starting to fill it up down low. So going according to plan so far for Coach Nunn.
I'm gonna tell you, I just don't think North Hall has an answer for Ellie Callahan. They just don't have the size or experience, and it's gonna be a long night if they keep putting it in the post there.
Yeah, so zone defense now for Coach House. Reese penetrates, kicks out. A little high-low action there. Callahan drives it in, and defensive change is not bothering her. She just goes down and dumps it in again. She's got 7 already. Gonna get Emma Callahan on a little push out of bounds. That's her first on the evening.
You know, I mentioned a while ago North Hall was, you know, really scrappy, but I'm gonna tell you, there's no team that's more scrappy than the Lady Cats, and that's traditionally for years.
Some of that scrappiness on display as Emma Deaton steals it. Tell you, a lot of contact going on here, no whistle. I'm gonna slow it down here. Final 30 seconds, dump it back down to Deaton. She can't get it to fall. Ellie with the rebound. No basket, but she'll head to the line for 2 shots. Lexi Gerard picks up her first foul right after she enters the game.
Spreading those fouls out on both sides here.
As we mentioned, they will start over, so 5 fouls for the visiting Trojans and 4 for the Lady Cats, but that will go away in 24 seconds. Callahan misses her second free throw of the night. She won't be thrilled about that. Second one, though, is up and good.
Tell you what, 25 points in first quarter's on track to be a high-scoring game.
And if they did that 4 times, they'd have a nice round number. Coach Nunn almost gets taken out with the basketball. Little matrix move from the head coach there to get out of the way. Ball will stay with the Trojans. Final 10 seconds here. North Hall looking for a shot. They have gotten really no penetration throughout the game. That one from downtown. Callahan gets it. Gilmer has a chance for the final shot here as it winds down. She gets a long 3 up. Looked good, but won't fall. So after 1 quarter of action, the Lady Cats filling it up. 25-10 is the lead. We'll step aside and have quarter number 2 for you right after this. And we are back. There you see our possession arrow. Nice little shot through the crowd. Hey, you know, you do what you can do. Electronics aren't working, so you go to the old-fashioned situation there, and they're flipping it over. And I will tell you a kind of funny thing. We can't pick on them too bad because they are watching us down there. I can see it on their phones at the scores table. So if we keep zooming in on them, we might hurt their feelings. But the folks that work here at all our gyms, as Emma Callahan's up and good, take a lot of time.
The press having an effect again.
We're off.
Oh, okay. Pretty ugly here in a minute. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Who was that? Do you know who just hit that?
12. Wilson, Brooke Wilson, hit
So
the last
she's got 2 baskets in a row. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you keep up with besides fouls and points?
I keep up with just a running total up there.
Okay, so it was. Oh, that's a good idea. So
it was 25-10 at the end of the first quarter.
So you put it.
So,
you put that here. Right?
Yeah, like what I do, I keep the running score, and then right there, I just kind of block it in, and then right here.
Can't you just do it there, though?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, see, whenever I kept the book for our little rec team, I always did that, but I didn't think about doing it now. And so, timeouts are on here somewhere, right?
Yeah, down at the bottom if you want to. Like, you just write them in right there. You can write them in right there.
Okay. So I don't even know how many they get.
They get 2 30s and 3 fulls.
In each half or the whole game?
Whole game.
2 30s and 3 fulls, okay. She just knocked her down. See, I don't know what he's watching.
The Gilmer feed.
Well, we took a break momentarily there. We are having some technical issues. We made fun of the possession arrow, and sure enough, we have some technical difficulties as well. They're getting it ironed out, though, so just stick with us, and we will be here. Not a lot has changed since we stepped away. It's 31-12. Lady Cats with a commanding lead here. Emma Callahan with another shot from outside. Can't get it to fall. North Hall trying to stick in, but just really outmatched here by this experienced Lady Cats team.
And the pressure. I mean, I didn't keep up with turnovers tonight, but they've just, I mean, it's been a multitude of turnovers for North Hall.
Beth Burnett finally misses one, but the little backside rebound there, that's Charlie Poteet, her first bucket of the game. So some of the younger players for Coach Nunn getting in on the action with this big lead. Poteet with the steal. And, has it taken away, and it will stay. Well, we're trying to figure it out.
There's a case of official not getting back where he's supposed to be.
So they're asking the players what they think. Okay, let's say held ball. That sounds good. They look to the possession arrow. We're going to flip it back over. There we go.
I know I shouldn't be criticizing, but I mean, oh my gosh, you're the trail official. You're the one that's supposed to know this. You're asking for help from somebody at half court. Yeah,
so we're going to stay here during the timeout. So let's say that you're a head coach and you won possession there and they're out of position, and you lose that possession. How do you react? That's got to be frustrating.
I get in his ear.
So were you a put your arm around them and whisper kind of person, or were you really kind of out there yelling at them?
No, I mean, if it was really a heated, tense moment, I might yell at them. But for the most part, I try to talk to them.
Yeah.
And that really does a lot more, trying to talk to them. And, you don't want to talk too often because then they quit listening. But if you pick your points and and you're nice about it, then you can get some breaks sometimes.
Yeah, Coach Enos really nice and sweet and soft-spoken here on the air, but I promise you I have seen her get heated on the floor. But now in retirement, you have no reason to be upset.
That's right. I have been known to go out on the floor at times, and I was fortunate that they were patient with me. But
yeah, we could put you in a sweater and let you throw a chair, recreate a Bobby Knight situation.
I'll throw a clipboard once in a while.
Uh-oh. Sports world, speaking of legends, did lose an icon today. Tommy Lasorda passes away at the age of 93. We see a foul call. They're going to get Riley Thompson. That's her second. Had the opportunity to meet Tommy Lasorda several years ago, and he was already old and crotchety at that point, but a great baseball mind and a fun character. And we were able to sit with him at a minor league game to watch him scout some of the minor league players for the Dodgers, and he still enjoyed baseball, and certainly the world will miss his antics. So sad to see Tommy Lasorda pass away.
My bucket list is to go to Dodger Stadium, and I want to sit really down on the field, but I don't know if that's going to ever happen.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll ever be fans in attendance and the numbers like they used to be at sporting events again. It's a strange time that we live in. Good crowd here tonight, though, on a Friday night. Got to do something inside. It's 30 degrees outside, so nice warm gym to be in tonight as you see the crowd there behind us.
One thing that was known for with my players is that I kind of walk the sideline, but I'd always turn around. I'd just look and look and look and try to decide who to put in. And with this setup, it's a little bit difficult to turn around and see you're going to miss somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so players in the chairs and as well as on the bench. Seems a little strange if they're out there on the floor together to have them 3 feet apart in the chairs, but everybody doing the best they can. A lot of interesting things have happened in our local sports area in the last little while since we brought you a game. See Emma Callahan a little short there on that three-pointer. Gilmer and head football coach Kevin Saunders parted ways, and so Coach Saunders will be moving on. Gilmer will be looking for a head coach. Interview process is going on, so hopefully in the next little while we'll have an indication of who that might be. Pickens as well. Coach Nelson resigned and stepped away, so Pickens will be looking to hire some candidates. Interviews going on there. Rumor mill is grinding at both schools.
Well, this is a time of the year that a lot of people are making moves.
Got a discussion here going on with Coach Dunn and the officials.
I'm going to tell you, this is an attractive area for a lot of people to come to Jasper and LJ. Chance to get out of a bigger area and get to a smaller area. There's no better place, in my opinion, to live.
Some might even say it'd be blessed to live in this area.
Tell you, Callahan there is just kind of dominating on the inside.
Anna Waddell, young player, into the game as Callahan will go to the line. We're going to get the foul called on A.B. Gilliland. Her second, definitely the coolest name that we have here.
Tell you what, Ellie's living at the foul line tonight.
Yeah, but so far missed a few of those too. I know she won't be thrilled about that as she goes back and watches the tape. But Gilmer has to be happy they're performing well with this big 33-12 lead. The second quarter is brought to you by our good friends at Dairy Queen. Appreciate them sponsoring live action. Dairy Queen and LJ under construction. Can't go get a blizzard right now.
One of the things that's tough when you've got a really good team like the Lady Cats, sometimes, as a coach, you try to make sure your team doesn't play to the level of competition. And with North Hall being as young as they are and as inexperienced, Coach Nunn's got a challenge to kind of keep her girls' intensity level up. You don't want to get it sloppy in a game like this.
Also, too, we've talked about this before. You have your normal rotations of, players that you put in. Well, now you're trying to get some younger players some action in the game, and it's you kind of mess with those rotations, and so you want to give some younger players some opportunities, but you also have to remember this is a region game. It's not for fun. It's not an exhibition, and so you want to make sure that your team stays sharp. And that time, North Hall able to get a run out and get a bucket. I believe that's Sophie Cleveland with her first points of the game.
And at the same time, too, you really want to make a statement in the region. I mean, if you let a young team like this hang around and make it close, then it's going to give them confidence, and you really want to kind of just do a shutdown. Just make them think next time they don't have a chance.
2:20 left in this Dairy Queen second quarter. By the way, the locations in Jasper and Blue Ridge still open, so if you want to go and check out Dairy Queen, you can still go there. Foul called that time on Lexi Gerard, number 2. I'm always hungry when I leave here talking about our sponsors. Art Reese misses the bucket. That one goes out of bounds. We'll stay with the Lady Cats. At halftime, we will hear some thoughts from earlier in the year from Lady Cats head coach Susan Nunn. She has to be pleased with the start they have so far. A couple of losses over the Christmas break, but other than that, perfect. Won the ETC tip-off tournament without a loss, and So far undefeated in the region, looking to continue that tonight.
That was Shoemaker with a little push in the back, but let that go.
Callahan spins the opposite way. She's clobbered that time. They're going to get, I believe that's, he said 3. There is no 3.
I believe they caught it on Caroline Cape.
Number 2, there you go. Callahan knocks that one down. You can see as the players run by the size difference. Ellie able to get what she wants. That's her 3rd free throw of this second quarter. Scoring has slowed. Gilmer still winning the quarter. They only have 11 in this quarter, though, versus 25 in the first. And for North Hall, only 4 points so far.
And I think that slowdown in scoring has gone to what you were talking about, just the rotations and getting new people in there. You know, she set her starters, several of her starters this quarter. Emma Callahan had 9 points in the first quarter, and she hasn't seen much action this quarter.
Clark Reese picked up a foul there on the little reach in. Oh, Caldwell with a little shove that time. Didn't extend the arms, but a little bump. She'll pick up her first foul. What do you teach, Coach, when you're teaching your players? Because you want them to have active hands. We hear that all the time, active hands. But then you want to avoid those reach-ins, and you know you don't want to give the players a lot of space, but you can't bump them either. So how do you balance that in teaching?
Well, you've got to teach them to come up with their hands and not down with their hands. If you go trying to go for a ball with your hand going down, they look at that as a slap. If you kind of come with it up, you don't tend to get as many calls. But just those quick hands, and I used to tell those officials that they just hadn't seen girls with quick hands as mine had.
As you mentioned, that Christina Peach is called, and she does reach and slap down, as you mentioned, and so gets that call. See, that's a teaching moment for our folks right now at home. They may be young players, and that they just learned something. That's the kind of wisdom that we anticipate from you, Coach.
You know, and like they, if they keep their hands moving, and that's another key, is if you keep your hands moving, the official's going to give you a little bit more slack, but that's a long distance shot.
Oh, good look that time. I believe that is Riley McCall. Her first points of the night. It was a good looking stroke.
North Hall coming with a little press of their own here.
Yeah, they pick up. Charlie Poteet gets called for the travel, trying to split that double team. Final 36 seconds of play here in this DQ second quarter. Gilmer still with a big commanding lead. One of those things, too, the less violent you can make something look, you know, the smoother you can be. John Stockton, when he played, was a master of that. You know, one of the most respected players ever, but also called dirty because he was just, you know, sort of very quickly and quietly, won't carry that time, able to do that. And he still, I believe, holds the NBA record for steals and assists both. I may be wrong on the steals, but, and so, as you mentioned, those quick hands.
And, you know, we've talked before about the long arms. That, you know, everybody's built differently, but those with long arms tend to be able to get to a lot more tip balls.
Poteet picks up the foul. Reached and bumped with the body.
This looks like a little offensive substitution here. We'll try to score here on this possession.
You know, and you may say, wow, with such a big deficit, why are they worried about that? But you may have these situations where you have 10 seconds left in a big game and you want to get a good play in, and they did.
Yeah.
Great job converting, getting A.B. Gilliland to the bucket.
And you're taking a chance because she has 2 fouls, but worked out for them.
So after one half of play here, our score 36-19. Big lead for the Lady Cats. They'll look to add to that in half number 2. So we'll step away for just a minute. We'll come back. We'll hear from Coach Nunn. We will preview the rest of the season and the second half and get you ready for the nightcap, as well as the boys from Gilmer and North Hall will meet in just a little while. Thank you for being with us on this frigid Friday night. We'll be right back after this break. Jeremy Green back here with Coach Donna Enos, the Lady Cats with a big 36-19 lead. And really, Coach, in every aspect of the game, Gilmer's dominated.
They really have. I mean, their experience is really showing. Their pressure is forcing so many turnovers, and they really look good.
Yep. So this is a region game, and hopefully as you go through the region, we'll continue to see that dominance. Of course, this is a team, deep playoff run last year. They want to go even farther this year. Speaking of goals and aspirations, we had a chance earlier in the year to get up with head coach Susan Nunn and hear what she thought about the season. We're going to take you to those thoughts now, and then we will come back and get you ready for half number 2. Third quarter just underway here as we see a quick foul to open up the action.
I think he called that a double dribble.
Okay,
so
they call it double dribble,
yeah.
excuse me.
Toss up there.
Listen, we've had an exciting halftime. We have been trying to assist in the fixing of the possession arrow. We are one plug-in away from testing to see if it works, and so listen, we're all about solving problems here tonight. 36-19 Lady Cats with the lead, and you heard Coach Nunn in the beginning of that interview talk about expectations. So they don't expect to be winning by this margin ever, but there is a high set of expectations for this Lady Cats team. There was in the tip-off tournament, there is in region play as well. They expect to win the region, make a deep playoff run, and so these games are important.
Yes, they are, and you know, and of course you want to be at your best when you get to the region tournament, but this just kind of sets the tone, kind of lets you see what works and what doesn't work against your opponents, and everything seems to be working tonight.
The second quarter, though, lackluster for the Lady Cats. Only 11 points as they tried some different rotations, but starting 5 back out there to begin the second half. By the way, we want to thank Luttrell's Hardware for their bringing us that halftime interview with Coach Nunn. As we see Emma Deaton up in good.
And you know, right there is a good example of position. She's had great position and made that shot easy for her.
That time in a little bit of trouble was trying to defend 2 people and able to do it as Ellie Callahan goes up and finishes at the bucket. You know, that's one of the frustrating things, I'm sure, for coaches is to have a 2-on-1 situation like that where you have an easy bucket and not convert. You sort of get stuck in between.
Well, it looks like that they made a few adjustments on their press break at halftime, but you've got to make those easy shots when you're in a game like this. Of course, right there they did a great job on the offensive rebounds, and that's Gillian that made that. Causes Coach Nunn to take a timeout also.
Coach Nunn going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here, and so you know, you get so frustrated there because you get a stop, you get a second stop, and then boom, the third opportunity, she comes in. Nobody boxes out on the rebound and just lays it up and in, and so there are teachable moments even in blowout type games.
Well, you know, there's going to be a couple of things that Coach Nunn can clean up this week, and one of those being giving up offensive rebounds, because in the first quarter, you know, they got an opportunity. They had one time that they had 3 offensive rebounds that led to a score. Then right there, giving up offensive rebounds till they score. So that's something that I think if you want to really extend your run in the playoffs, you're going to have to make sure you don't give up those offensive rebounds.
Yep. So we've got a scoreboard going on here. Now we're going to see if we can get the possession arrow. High drama inside the gym. And so no such luck so far. Can't get it to work.
He doesn't have room to plug it in there on his little power strip.
It's like they unplugged the scoreboard for just a second, but got it plugged back in. Coach Nunn not amused right now with the technology problems or the way her girls are playing. And so takes a timeout there, tells them to clean it up, and they do. They make a great move to the bucket, breaking the press there, and Callahan continues to pile in the points.
Well, and the experience factor is showing right here because, I mean, Lady Cats are having no issues getting that ball through the press, and Lady Trojans are struggling a little bit with the pressure. 15
points for Callahan so far, and I have great news to report, Coach. The possession arrow is working. It has been repaired.
That's thanks to ETC.
That's right. I will say there is a possibility that somehow we were using the court for something, but I hope that wasn't the case. But they're able to get it going.
That was a nice play right there. Nice set. That was a set play that they used, and got Ellie Callahan the score. Easy score.
Give her 16 on the night so far.
Offensive foul by Christina Peach. And you can see the frustration in North Hall and the girls. I mean, they're playing as hard as they can play, and they're just a little outmatched here.
Emma Deaton getting to her comfortable space and then dribbles it off her knee, able to save it.
That's a good hustle play by the Lady Cats.
McCallahan, she's done a great job of splitting those double teams, sort of little, what you might call a Euro step, and able to get between and put it up. That time, though, not able to hold on to it, and it will be Trojan basketball.
One thing that you sometimes run across in girls, you have girls that are a little bit timid driving to the basket. But that's one thing, none of the Lady Cats are ever timid going to the basket. They love to draw that contact. It pays off because they get to the foul line so often.
Gilliland gets it down low, gets stuck, kicks it back out. From way downtown that time, air ball, but rebounded by Cape, and that time blocked by Deaton. Just nothing doing down low, and now Lady Cats out running. Mad scramble for the ball, bodies everywhere.
You know, the inexperience is showing. I mean, they get an opportunity and they rush it, and you know, I put that to the Lady Cats' pressure. They know it's coming, and so they're just trying to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible.
44-24 our score here. We do have some more games coming up. We'll go down our schedule here, but first, how about a big shot from downtown? Riley Thompson, her first bucket of the game.
You know, it just looks like that the Gilmer ladies can just see the floor so well. They know where each other's going to be.
Hope Caldwell, her first bucket of the game. Tuesday night, it'll be Central Carrollton at Pickens, and I tell you what, we've seen some surprises down there in Pickens County. This team, especially the Lady Dragonettes, they lost a lot of scoring, but really are playing well, undefeated in region play so far, and really turning some heads down there.
They really are. They have a great start of the season.
Of course, we saw them play well in spurts during the tip-off tournament, but really have hit their stride, and we'll see how that continues in region play. So they'll play Central Carrollton. The boys playing well also. Then next Friday night, we will be back here as West Hall comes in for Gilmer. It is Hall of Fame night as we see Emma Deaton up and good. I'll be here with you along with our own Hall of Famer, Dell Land. So looking forward to Dell being with us for that.
That's the case of Lexi Gerard down there knowing she can't do anything with Ellie Callahan and just trying to get the ball back out.
Then on Tuesday the 19th, White County comes here to Gilmer. I'll be here alongside Caleb Frady. Then on the 22nd, it will be our first trip to Fannin post-tip-off. It'll be Coosa at Fannin in a region game, and you'll be there alongside Caleb Frady on the 22nd. Let's see that one go out of bounds. The following Friday night is Chattooga at Fannin. You and I will be up there to watch Chattooga come in. That's a big region game for Fannin. On February the 5th, we'll be right back here as Cherokee Bluff comes to Gilmer in another big region matchup. That one finally rebounded. Oh, ends up in Callahan's hands, and Gilmer just hanging on to the basketball. Finally, mercifully, a whistle. They're going to get Emma Deaton on a foul. I think at some point they just had to blow a whistle there.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy.
And then our final game of the regular season will be on February the 9th. And I tell you what, how about this one? Some folks in green have been anticipating this one for a long time. It'll be Northwest Whitfield at Pickens. And you'll be there alongside Dave Garner to call that one.
That could very easily come down to the regular season region championship for the girls.
And Northwest, I believe Gilmer won the region. Northwest was second, but Northwest is one of those powerhouses. And the Bruins have been feuding with the Nets for the last couple of years. And even in our tip-off interview, Coach Thomas called him out.
Yeah.
He said he was looking forward to that game. So,
well, with Gilmer out of the region now, that, you know, kind of takes a little competition away.
48-27 our score here. Lady Cats have been leading throughout most of this game.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, good little move and a nice finish there as well by Sarah Davidson.
again, you're looking at a 19-point game here, but you can't get careless. You want to stay sharp.
Beth Burnett called for the foul, and they're going to count the bucket as well. So, no, they're not going to count the bucket. Oh, Coach House thought they were. I did too, but they don't.
She was asking for them to.
It'll be foul number 2 on Beth Burnett. Looking for the old continuation there. Can't get it. From downtown, they're going to wave it off, and they're going to call an offensive foul that time on Sarah Davidson.
You know, one thing there, you know, they had to press on, but they let the players get behind them, and that's something they've got to learn. They're going to have an effective press. They can't let people get behind them.
Ball going to go back to North Hall on that possession. A minute left here in this third quarter. Our third quarter is brought to you by our good friends at Bill Holt Chevrolet. Locations all across North Georgia. And tell you what, it's pretty nice time to be buying a car. Wow, another great pass down there to Davidson. Coach Nunn not happy. She's going to call a full timeout. We'll step aside while she talks to them. 48-31, Lady Cats still with big lead. Coach Nunn has let out a little bit of her frustration there with this 17-point lead, but a couple of really easy baskets by North Hall. And as you mentioned, you got to stay sharp. And so she wasn't pleased and straightened out. She continues to not be pleased as that one is out of bounds to North Hall.
Well, the North Hall girl there, Amelia Shoemaker, she made a great play, but when it came back out of bounds, it hit her. So.
Okay, so there you go. See, you have a much more watchful eye than I do.
Well,
I just kind of look and move on.
Just kind of habit.
Tell you what, Coach House and Miss Shoemaker there had a little conversation on the way out.
Well, the thing about it was she should never have gone after the ball because it would have been their ball anyway.
I tell you, one of the coaches have their own language. Sometimes they communicate without words. We see Callahan there. That's a two-pointer, up and good. And one of the things that's really helped that is the mask. When you see the coaches very demonstratively pull that mask down, you know there's about to be some very serious instruction given, and Coach House has been pretty good at that throughout the night. After three quarters, it's 50-31. Lady Cats still in control. We'll have quarter number 4 for you on the other side of this break. 50-31 our score here. The Lady Cats really from the word go tonight have been in control, but they haven't been quite as sharp as Coach Nunn would have liked. 25 points scored in that first quarter, only 25 cents as we start quarter number 4. And so she for a coach with a 20-point lead, she has looked visibly frustrated, and understandably so.
Well, you know, we're talking off air that the first quarter they outscored North Hall by 15. In the last 2 quarters, they've only won by 2 points each quarter. So
yeah, that would cause some frustration. Emma Deaton now with 8 points on the night. Ellie Callahan with a big-time block, and Emma comes in and gets it back to her. Oh, they lose it again, and so been a lot of those loose balls. Gilmer seemed to come up with a lot of them as Beth Burnett is up and good off the glass. Gives her 8 points on the night. So everybody contributing so far. Oh, nice little move that time. It's slapped away by Ellie Callahan.
And that block looked like it didn't even take much effort on that.
Emma Callahan from outside off the front of the rim, rebounded by Beth Burnett. And going to be a foul called on Peach. I'm having a hard time deciding if I like Christina Peach or A.B. Gilliland more as a name. Those are, and you've got Amelia Shoemaker. I mean, that's 3 really good ones on the team. Emma Callahan fired from way downtown that time. See, she was too close on those previous couple of attempts.
Yeah, she didn't play much the second quarter. She was so hot the first quarter.
Yeah, still has 16 on the evening as we see an offensive foul called that time on Riley McCall, number 2 for number 10.
Emma Deaton was perfect position. That was a good job by her taking that charge.
Yeah, she's really dominates the middle of that floor. There she is again, and she's always in that little free throw area, does really well. Give her 10 points for the night. Mid-range jumper, sort of a lost art in basketball these days.
Really is.
Steal that time. Like a kid with an Easter egg was Deaton that time.
Well, that's the adjustment from that timeout. She was telling them that they had to make sure that they were helping out, and they did. Led to a steal.
And just for the second time in a row, they posted her up, and that time can't get it to go. And Callahan ends up out of bounds. 5:46 left to go in this ETC Security fourth quarter. Lady Cats up 59-31. Coach Nunn inspired them on the break between the third and fourth quarter. We'll say it that way. They've played well here so far. Gilliland with the 3-pointer. How about that?
I tell you what, when you look at the game of basketball now, you look at the biggest players on the floor are stepping out taking threes. I mean, that's every team.
Callahan not happy with that travel call. Yeah, but yeah, it's you've got to have that inside out, sort of game. And used to be that was only European players, right? We saw Dirk and those guys come over from Europe and do that, but now that's got to be a part of your game.
One time, this was back early in my career. It was back when you had true post players, you had true guards, and you played one or the other. And I had a girl that could play either one. She's about 6 foot. That was Gillen for 2 more. But anyway, she was about 6 foot, and she could go inside or outside. She handled the ball like a guard, and that was an advantage. Because if they put somebody big on her, we took her out. If they put somebody small, we put her in. But that's just not the game today.
Yeah, absolutely. You look to exploit matchups, but the players with such unique skill sets now, and they're taught that from a young age. Been a nice little 2-man game going on with Callahan and Deaton down low. That time they couldn't convert. Emma Callahan that time trying to guard 2 players, not able to get it done, so up and good. I believe that was Amelia Shoemaker with her first bucket. Interesting that time. Instead of going in and doing that little spin move, Callahan steps back, puts it up and in.
You know, that's one thing is as she gets older, she needs to expand her game, and she has. Looking some different moves there.
Emma Callahan from outside. Seen her take more threes tonight than we usually do. Not when you're hitting them, that, you know, is a tendency.
That's right. When you start out as hot as she did.
Ellie picks up her second foul. Host of substitutions here, get some younger players in. Coach Nunn, Lucy Ray into the game, number 34, Charlie Poteet, as well as number 12, Brooke Wilson into the game, along with Emma Callahan and Hope Caldwell.
You know, talking about the way the game's changed, you just never used to see a, you know, 5 players out on an offense. I mean, it's so different than it used to be, and I think that it's a lot more exciting than it used to be.
Good move to the bucket, not able to convert that time. Or the Lady Trojans. Riley Thompson had a good look at it, couldn't get it to fall.
They would just learn to come in and use the backboard. Those shots would fall for them every time.
You know, that square's there for a reason, Coach.
That's your best friend.
I can very much remember as a kid running basketball drills. And a lot of layup shot in those youth practices. Learning how to get a little bit of English off that backboard. I've been impressed with Gilliland this quarter. That's already 7 points for her, 13 on the night. She's really stepped up, especially in this fourth quarter. That time helps with the steal and it's not able to turn around in time.
You know, and she's the biggest girl that they have, and she's using her body, get good position. You know, the Lady Cats, they just move the ball so quickly.
Hope Caldwell getting in on the offensive action. That's only her second bucket of the game. Gilliland fakes the pass, lets it ride that time. Can't get it to fall. Maybe eyes got a little too big that time. 64-40 in this ETC Security fourth quarter. A big 24-point lead for the Lady Cats. All younger players in now, except for Emma Callahan, who inbounds that. Lark Reese, junior, back into the game. Anna Waddell into the game as well. And Peach with a little bucket.
You can tell North Hall's got some potential, you know, with their young players. They just don't have the experience.
And they played hard the entire, you know, we haven't seen any bad body language, nobody ducking their head, and so they've continued to play hard as Anna Waddell picks up the foul.
You know, they got a little frustrated right there toward the end of the first quarter, but they've held tough and played as hard as they could.
Peach misses the first free throw.
I would think that Gilmer's going to have to be a, you know, odds-on favorite to be top of the region here. Whereas Pickens in Northwest was glad to see Gilmer leave, I'm sure that there's nobody happy to see him come in this region.
Emma Callahan up and good, or no good, excuse me. Fight in the middle of that pile, and somehow Gilliland comes up with it. Oh, that one bounced around, and Ray ends up with it. Jump ball, possession arrow. Stays with North Hall. More substitutions. Emma Deaton back in, Haley Wilson in. Gilliland spins that one up and in.
Tell you, Gilmer was a little slow to get set right there. and then made a mistake, stepped over the line. A little bit of Gilmer's inexperience showing here.
We said no bad body language. Coach Nunn is not included in that statement. We've seen her. We've seen her body language. She has not been thrilled most of the night tonight.
Well, I'm sorry, you're just never going to get a perfect game, but that's your what you're striving for, you know.
Yeah. So there will be things that are correctable. Anna Waddell picks up her second foul there pretty quickly, and that'll send Lexi Gerard to the line. Coach House has been able to hide behind her mask a little bit there. You know, she has to have some frustration too, especially at missed free throws.
You know, I can't hide my feelings, and so when I would hate to be behind a mask, because they need to see sometimes how you feel without having to say too much. It's a nice play right there by Riley Thompson. I mean, that was just perfect position there on the press.
It's so funny for Coach Nunn. We usually see, you know, not a lot of reaction from her as we see a foul on Haley Wilson. She usually keeps it pretty close to the vest, but you can tell that she's struggling. I don't think it's a lack of effort, but maybe a lack of proper execution in closing out this game.
And that's what you want. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You want to execute and you want to finish.
And, you know, this is a very senior-laden team. There's a lot of experience here, but, you know, you're an injury or two away from some of these younger players really contributing, and if when they're out there in big moments they can't do it, that's a big deal. Coach Nunn's going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll take it with her and be right back. 1:02 left in quarter number 4. Lady Cats with a big lead, 64-46. Jeremy Green here with Coach Donna Enos, and Coach Nunn down there still coaching them up with a minute left.
And that's a good thing. That's what you want. A lot of this stuff you can't simulate in practice, so you need to get it out here in the game and correct it while you can.
Lark Reese up and good, so they execute out of the timeout. That'll make her happy for the time being. And we thought this might end up being a very high-scoring game for the Lady Cats after quarter number 1, and you know really has leveled off after that first quarter. 66-46 though, still with a 20-point lead. She'll be happy with the defensive effort as well to keep the Lady Trojans under 50, at least so far.
Well, you know, they made 5 threes in that first quarter, and that's, you know, that's kind of hard to keep up throughout a game.
Was there a certain number that you shot for, whether offensively or defensively, you wanted to hold the other team to a certain number, or did that vary from game to game?
Well, I would always like to, you know, you want to keep them. Depends on the style you play. I mean, if you're playing a running game, keep them under 50. If you're playing a slower game, that's really, you know, might get you beat. But I focused on turnovers and assists, that what you wanted to look for.
Yeah, those ratios really important, especially with the new, some advanced metrics that we have now. This one comes to a close. Gilmer picks up the 20-point win, 66-46. That's a big region win, and as we have become accustomed to, they sort of wave at each other. No post-game handshakes to keep the contact minimal, I guess, even though they were just swapping out there. So, but a big win for the Lady Cats, and you know, Coach Nunn, maybe not right now, but later on she'll be happy to pick up that region win.
Oh, I mean, a 20-point region win, there's nothing bad about that. A few things that I know she's going to want to talk about and clean up a little bit, but it was a good win, really good win.
Yeah, for North Hall, A.B. Gilliland leads the way in scoring. She really had, especially a big fourth quarter. On the other side for the Lady Cats, it's what we've come to expect. Emma Callahan and Ellie Callahan leading the way, but big contributions from Beth Burnett and Emma Deaton tonight as well. And so it's a big win for the Lady Cats. The boys are on tap right around the corner. We'll have a little break here in between the games, and then we will come back and have game number 2. It is the North Hall Trojans visiting the Gilmer Bobcats. We're going to step aside for just a little while, and then we'll come back and have that game for you right after this. And we are back here, Jeremy Green alongside Coach Donna Enos, and we're going to send you now to some thoughts that we had from the senior boys on this Gilmer Bobcat basketball team. As we got ready for the tip-off tournament, we were able to catch up with them, and we're going to talk about their expectations for the season and a little bit about them, and then when we come back, we will have game number 2 for you. So we'll hear now from the Gilmer Bobcat senior boys. starting lineups for both those teams, the Trojans of North Hall as well as the Gilmer Bobcats. And coach, in that girls game, it was all Lady Cats, and you know that they would love to continue that for the boys, but this North Hall team been pretty good so far this year.
I sure have, and so it's, you know, it'll be a good matchup tonight. Hopefully a little home court advantage will help.
We are here inside the cage as everybody's kind of getting it teed up. Had a long break there with the senior night for some of the athletes. Not basketball senior night though, we'll have that a little bit later. Of course, Hall of Fame night coming up, so lots of exciting events here for you. So the game is underway.
Cats are starting out with some pressure.
Three-pointer to open the game. How about that? It's number 24, Cole Ellis, who knocks it down. Gilmer trying to get something going there. Familiar faces out there for the Cats. Carson Pierce, Braden Jenkins, Brady Sanford, Cade Carter, and Ethan Banks, the starting five for Gilmer. Brady Sanford lets it ride from outside, no good. Rebounded by North Hall. And they throw it away. Cole Heiss almost with the chance to grab that one. A little full court pressure here by North Hall. Almost thrown away, but Carter with the strong hands to get that one. Carson Pierce goes behind the back that time, throws it away. This North Hall coaching staff vocal, I guess we would say. Ellis left open for three again. That time airballs it.
Holding on to that follow through like
Yeah.
he thought he had it there.
Hadn't seen a lot of consistency in some of these games. We watched this North Hall coaching staff during the JV game. They are loud. That's okay. Energetic crowd. The girls in the visiting green, the boys go with the black and green as they hit their second three-pointer. That time Eli Campbell knocking it down from downtown.
They're starting out like the Lady Cats did, hot from the three-point line.
Gilmer having a little bit of trouble with the pressure. They finally get it across and kick it over to Sanford. He has it knocked away. So all North Hall early here.
Tell you what, they do a good job with their pressure.
Basket up and good that time from Robert Terry. So after that little 8-0 start, Coach Heiss calls timeout. He's going to take a quick 30-second break. We'll take it with him. 8-0 North Hall. So a little blitz there to start off from North Hall. Coach Heiss calms his crew down, and they'll try to battle back from this quick hole that they're in. Slapped away that time. Carson Pierce times the jump, and he's going to get called for the and one. They say hit him on the head. Didn't see a ton of contact there as Robert Terry finishes it. We'll see the replay. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That'll look a little ticky-tack, but they say there was enough contact.
Lane violation cost them a point right there.
Yeah, I don't see that a lot these days.
You know,
10 to nothing.
Looking at North Hall boys, I mean, they're looking really strong, but they're only 1-4 in their in the region. So that's going to be a pretty tough boys region.
Ball will stay with North Hall on the turnover. 10-0 early in this first quarter, which is brought to you by Shane's Rib Shack. Thanks to our good friends over at Shane's, not only for the delicious barbecue, but for sponsoring this first quarter of action.
I like their chicken fingers.
Yeah, pretty good. Get them dipped in whatever sauce you want to. Pretty good. Pierce that time throws it away. Gilmer just cannot find any footing here early on.
Tell you, North Hall's come out with some pressure.
Braden Jenkins going to be, oh,
Ooh.
thought they were going to call him for a travel, but they do call a foul. Call that on Clark Howell. And he's got some accounting in his future, Clark Howell, or some real estate. Oh, can't get the three to fall. That was a good look. Maybe the best one of the night so far, but still being shut out 10-0 here by North Hall.
See, North Hall plays really up-tempo with a lot of quick pace, high energy.
I'm out of breath just watching their coaches.
That's a pretty shot right there. That's a good-looking shot.
Yeah, that's Robert Terry already with 5 points. I think Coach Heiss was expecting this at the outset.
Tell you what, not only are they playing tough defense, they're blocking out, not giving them a second shot.
You know, Gilmer has a pretty distinct size advantage too when you look out there on the floor, but man, some shots from downtown and then some quick hands. North Hall really in control here, 13-0 early on. Good job that time by Ethan Banks to come down with it. You would think that Gilmer wants to get Cade Carter a touchdown low, but instead it's Brady Sanford getting them on the board here. 13-2 now, our score.
Tell you, the pace of this game is hopefully going to stay quick like this. This makes it exciting.
Cade Carter with a nice rejection that time. They're going to feed him down low. I think that's what you need to see some more of. He's not able to convert, but with that size advantage, you want to see the big man get fed down low.
Made a nice move. He just couldn't finish it.
Another three from North Hall. This time they bank it in. They can't miss as Howell knocks it down.
When you're banking threes in, especially from the top of the key there, you know you're having a good night.
Oh, they're going to get Carson Pierce with the offensive foul. And now we're going to see Brandon Thomas style substitutions here. 5 in, 5 out. Not sure what that buzzer was about there, little accidental buzzer.
Well, they made a substitution, and Carson was over there talking to the official and didn't get off before they started. One of the officials weren't paying attention.
Travel called that time. You heard the coach say something that I think is really important. He said, "Save your dribble." You know, that's really important. And what does he mean by that?
Well, if you just immediately start to dribble and then you pick it up, you really are just kind of like a sitting duck there. You don't have any options. And if you hold your dribble, kind of survey what's going on, then that gives you another option.
Yeah, right. You don't want to pick it up. That takes away any penetration, anything you could do. And so, just those few words there from the coach, really important.
And, you know, the defense, if you haven't dribbled, the defense has to give you a little bit more room. If you picked up your dribble, the defense can come just really close in on you.
I see a foul called that time. I believe that's Britt Taylor, number 10, who they call the foul on. If you notice, too, on the rebounds, you know, and this is a very subtle thing, but it's a very fundamental thing. No second chances for Gilmer. North Hall, even though they're smaller, they're boxing out. They're in the right position, and they can overcome those little bit of deficits that they have, and they're doing a great job keeping Gilmer to one shot and done. That time we see a turnover by Andrew Bales.
I tell you, their intensity level is just so high on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, that starts from that coaching staff over there. If you're Coach Heiss, or if you were coaching against, would that annoy you? Is that something you would appreciate, or?
Honestly, I really didn't know what was going on. I was just always focused on my team, and it'd have to be really something loud or big for me to lose focus.
One of those coaches, I'm convinced, is the third base coach on the baseball team as well. He's got that motion down, with wheeling him around third. We'll try to get a shot of the coaching staff in a minute, and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about when North Hall, especially if they're running the break, they are high energy, up tempo.
Kind of
second offensive foul. That one's on Braden Jenkins.
And the officials are looking at each other trying to figure out what to call. That really wasn't a question, I didn't think. I thought that was a good, it definitely was an offensive foul.
And Gilmer really doesn't have any answers, and it's the energy level. It's not the size, not the athleticism, it's the energy level that they're having a hard time matching.
Well, when you run a 5-in, 5-out, that's really a big reason you do that is to keep that intensity, that energy level up to wear the other team down. I mean, they're just getting second chances and not giving Bobcats any second chances.
So possession error that time with Gilmer. As you mentioned, North Hall 5-7 overall, just 1-4 in the region, and so you weren't necessarily expecting that, but they have really come out a ball of fire here. And Gilmer kind of struggling, just sort of trying to figure out how to get something going.
I tell you, it's really hard to get back in it when you start off down 13-0.
But Coach Kendall and this North Hall staff from over in Gainesville, they have their team playing really well. 18-2 now with a minute left in this Shane's Rib Shack first period.
He picked up his dribble there in the corner. He's lucky that he got that off. That's, as a defense, that's what you want, is one dribble in the corner and pick up.
So what do you do here if you're Coach Heiss? He's letting them play through it. He did burn that 132nd timeout, but you've got to hang on to him. I mean, what's the answer? Nothing's working on offense, nothing working on defense. Do you want to promote ball movement? Do you want one player to take over and create his own shot? What's the solution?
Well, North Hall has the game going exactly like they want it to go. So what Gilmer needs to do is kind of set the tempo they want. If they, I don't know that they can really run with North Hall, but they need to kind of control the tempo.
I'll tell you what, that was great from Brady Sanford. Fast break opportunity, did a nice little step and scooped it up for the lay-in. And with his length, that's something he's able to do. And so still 18-4, but a temporary breath for Gilmer.
They're going to have to quit giving, second shots. They're going to have to do a better job on the defensive end as far as, limiting the number of shots. But you can see, I mean, a couple of them's breathing really hard. They're just not used to this. I just don't think they're used to this pace and intensity. Hands on their knees.
Cade Carter steps out to defend the shot, and that will do it for the first quarter. And so North Hall comes out and puts on a clinic, 18-4 after quarter number one. We'll see what quarter number two holds right after this break. We are back here, second quarter, and I think Gilmer just needed that break, as well as the North Hall coaching staff. Coach Miles Kendall over there leading that barrage of noise from his coaching staff. But if your kids are used to that, it's a great way of motivating. Each coach and each coaching staff has their own style, and for North Hall, if you want high energy on the floor, you have to promote it on the bench, and so far,
that's what they're doing. It's
a 4-0 run in 25 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Cade Carter that time and one opportunity, so that's what Gilmer's wanting.
You know, the thing that Cade did really well right there was he slowed down. I mean, instead of just rushing that shot, he took his time to draw the foul and gather himself and get the shot. So that was a really good job.
Travel that time after the really good penetrating pass, but it'll be Gilmer ball.
They've come out in a full court man-to-man. This is sometimes can be tough. But when you've got a good ball handler, you just clear it out and let them go.
Time they throw it away, so Gilmer got to find a solution to that pressure. Howell from downtown, not able to get it that time, but it's tipped back. North Hall tries to save it, but they go out of bounds.
And there again, I mean, Gilmer has the size advantage. But North Hall's just really, I don't want to say out hustling them, they've just got a different tempo. And, you know, Christmas, coming off Christmas break, and it's really tough to kind of get back in the swing sometimes, especially on a high intensity pace like this.
Yeah, you know, I just don't know if they were ready for it. Like you said, it's right there in your face, and you can watch it and know that it's coming, but trying to match that is a lot. Carson Pierce that time has that one blocked. I like the idea coming up from behind, just not able to get it to go.
Well, they took their time that time on the offensive end. They at least, you know, got a shot that they wanted and just didn't go down there and rush a shot up.
You know, the teams aren't going to stay hot. North Hall has cooled off, especially from three. You know, we've seen some misses.
But they're still getting a lot of offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and that's the key part, boxing out, as we talked about in quarter number one. North Hall coaches down here really working the official, too, every time he comes by.
I mean, it's just like as soon as they catch the ball, there's somebody right there in their face. I mean, this is a really well-coached team because that's what you want is you're moving while the ball's in the air, and that's what you don't see from a lot of teams. They react after the fact instead of reacting during the fact.
Three-pointer, no good that time, but as you mentioned again, Coach, there with the rebound. And Coach Heiss is going to call a timeout. He's standing there trying to get somebody's attention. And so down 24-6, he's going to talk it over with his team. We'll be right back after this. So Gilmer trying to find some answers after that timeout. Coach Heiss trying to give them some direction, and a great little cut that time by Braden Jenkins. Oh, not able to finish though, but North Hall knocks it out of bounds, and it will be Gilmer basketball.
I don't know if you saw that or not, but the official pointed to North Hall, and I mean, he pointed on that end and kind of almost got the coach in the face.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't have minded that too much. Maybe to slow them down just a little bit.
may have been a little intentional there.
They are energetic gentlemen.
It was a good defensive play, but the frustration's coming across on Gilmer, and it just.
They were a man down on defense that time because Carter not able to get back and left a wide open three-point shooter.
Gilmer's got to take this one possession at a time. See, that's a little bit of a quick shot. I mean, they were lucky to get the rebound there. But they've got to come work their offense one shot at a time.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get Carter on the offensive foul there, but they do get North Hall.
He kind of did clear it out there.
They're going to get Andrew Bales, 22, for that one.
That's really on 32 because 22's not even out there.
Yeah, good catch that time by you. The officials missed that one. Braden Jenkins, nice little move to the bucket, and so a couple good cuts there by Jenkins. And you know, you just got to get in a nice little flow there.
You do. I mean, it's one possession at a time to get back in this thing. And, you know, you look at it, you're down 19. I mean, with a three-point shot, if you can get some good looks, get some stops, and you get back in the game pretty quick.
Certainly not insurmountable.
Of course, they've got 5 players ready to come back in. It's just, I mean, it just seems like every loose ball is going to North Howell.
And Howell just continues to knock down threes. North Hall takes a 30-second timeout. They're going to get some rotations in, get a new bunch in. We'll stay right here, and see Coach Heiss over there just coaching them up. You can see the frustration, but not yelling, not screaming, just kind of working through it. 30-8, big deficit. As you mentioned, not insurmountable, but at some point you've got to make some stops and really got to close out on those shooters too.
You do. I mean, you know, you got to have a stop and then a make on the other end, and that's what gets you back in it. But if you can't stop them, you're in a downhill slide there.
30-8 in this Dairy Queen second quarter. As we mentioned there, DQ here in LJ closed for remodel for a little bit, but locations in Jasper and Blue Ridge still open. Whistle that time, they're going to get 10 for North Hall. Jeremiah Tellender, first entrance into the game. I would just venture to guess that he plays football.
He looks like it. That was an illegal screen right there. Had that leg out there, kind of hooked him as he went by.
Anything that can go wrong is going wrong so far for Bobcats. Another issue causing them problems, and that's one of the things when you run an offense like this is depth. They're out there just kind of, they keep throwing bodies at Gilmer, and Gilmer's playing with really the same 5 to 7 players.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're getting ready to send a new batch in there. Gilmer going to sub as well. Got Britt Taylor in there, Bryson Sisson in the game. So Dylan Abercrombie in the game. So Coach Heiss is going to get some fresh legs in.
And one thing Coach Heiss, he's got to do is to try to limit the frustration level here, because the more frustrated you get, the less successful you will be. So they can just kind of keep their composure, just work their way back in it.
The other thing that you worry about especially with Jenkins and Carter not in the game, as you see a foul that time by North Hall. It's going to be on the shot, Corbin Sosby. You've got to have your scorers in there. Without Carter and Jenkins, really, Brady Sanford and Carson Pierce, the only guys that can create their own shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so you cannot afford to just play hard defense when you're down like they are. So just kind of give his starters a rest and bring them back out.
Well,
Job by Sanford there.
You know, you don't see many boys games with 4 points in the first quarter. I mean, they started out in a hole, but they just got to work, keep working.
Three-pointer no good that time, but another long rebound to North Hall.
That's a second one there on Taylor.
You can tell that North Hall has spent a lot of time on these rebound drills, it's almost like they know as the shot's coming down the angle and where to be exactly to get it. And
They really, I mean, they're very fundamental. They really are.
over the back that time, number 32, Noah Little, picks up the foul.
That's his second. So we're going to get a 1-and-1 here.
As we mentioned, the foul's reset, but when you get to foul number 5, it's 1-and-1. Or foul number 6, excuse me. Foul 6, 1-and-1, and then 8 is the double bonus. So Carson Pierce here, looking for the first one. Able to get it.
They need to take advantage every time they can get to the line. Catch their breath, get some free points there.
So 1 of 2.
Turnover there. That's a good start.
Wasn't sure who the ball was going to go to. The North Hall player caught it out of bounds after Gilmer had tipped it, but it will be Gilmer ball. And Carson Pierce moving towards the basket, and he's going to be fouled, so he'll head back to the line.
Brady Hall there with a foul.
Pierce, of course, with that nasty knee injury last season, working his way back, and looks like he's maybe not back to 100%, but back to a level where he's been out there the whole game. His minutes were limited in the tip-off tournament, but now getting back into the swing of things in his senior year. Really important piece of this Bobcat team.
I tell you what, it takes some time to get used to playing with a big knee brace like that too.
1 of 2 again from the line for Pierce. So starting unit back out there for Coach Heiss now with Jenkins, Carter, and Ethan Banks back in the game. 20-point lead for North Hall. Drank some coffee on the way over from Gainesville. they are full of energy.
Now, I didn't notice a bus when I came in. I saw some, cheerleaders and things coming in from cars. It's kind of unusual when teams don't use a bus. It's kind of a liability issue, I think. They're just not letting up on the defense.
Ethan Banks there with a 3, kind of relieve a little pressure, so now only down 19. And as you mentioned, you chip away at it. Don't get it all back at once, but you cannot leave shooters open. So that time, 2 good things happened. You missed the shot, and Gilmer's in position for the rebound.
That's right. That was a good job there by Sanford to get it good offside position.
And follows it up with a made 3. So nice little run here from the Bobcats with 1:15 left in our Dairy Queen second quarter. Collision that time, and
Caden Carter got the block.
yeah, ran into a brick wall. Smallest kid on the court running into the biggest kid. That was predictable. Good job, 2 blocks in that possession by Carter. So little momentum swing here for Gilmer. Got to make sure and be smart with it. Carson Pierce penetrates, left-handed layup, a little wild that time.
When you get that deep and you've got a couple of people on you, if you kick it out, hopefully you get an open shot.
Look, I think he was expecting a little more contact than he got, and then North Hall slows the momentum down with a 3-pointer.
I mean, they're breaking the pressure, but the pressure in their face just is relentless.
Sanford line drive shot, but Carter there for the rebound, up and good for Gilmer. Final 20 seconds here as Gilmer has cut the lead to 17, so making a dent.
Looks like they're going to slow it down and take the last shot.
It's got to be a strange feeling for them. Carson Pierce fouls, but they're a long way from free throws.
That's his 3rd foul, and that just wasn't a smart foul.
Coach Heiss sharing that with him.
you know, that's when you're a senior, you got to play smart when you have some fouls on you, and that's frustration, I think.
Three-pointer up and no good. So Gilmer able to get a little bit going there at the close of the second quarter. Still 37-20 though, 17-point lead for the Trojans. And we'll step away, and we come back, we will hear from Coach Jordan Heiss, and as he shares some of his expectations for the season, and I'm sure he'll be sharing some expectations in the locker room as well. 37-20 our score. We'll be right back. We are back, third quarter, just about ready to get underway. Thanks to Luttrell's Hardware for bringing you that halftime coverage and those words from Coach Heiss. And I'm glad we could air the words. I don't know if we would have been able to put a camera in there for his halftime speech, but hey, looks like it may have paid off early on. That's Kate Carter with a basket. And so Gilmer, 4 points in that first quarter, but they really did improve, especially in the latter end of quarter two.
Yeah, they did. They scored 16 in the second quarter. So, and they held North Hall to 19. So there's a 3-point differential there.
And that one was really a bad shot. They closed out on the shooter, and he just happened to be pretty good with the shot, but they defended that well. And I think Coach Heiss would be fine with some made shots if the effort was there. And I think Gilmer really out-hustled and a little more depth for North Hall, and they were really just sort of shocked to see the speed that they played with, I believe, in that first quarter.
I agree. I just don't think they were quite prepared for that. And, that's something that you can't really – you've got to come out and you've got to be ready to go.
Carson Pierce then, anticipating contact again, but no whistle from the official. Another three-pointer. Howell puts that one up. Can't get it to fall. Rebound by Sanford. And so Gilmer now is sort of finally in the game as opposed to being sort of following up and down the floor.
That was a really good rebound by Sanford there. It was a really strong rebound, and that's what they've got to do.
Little no-look pass from Jenkins into traffic that time, and North Hall is moving. Kicked outside, another three from the corner, up and good.
And, that's a difference there in North Hall and Gilmer, in that Gilmer's trying to force things when it's 1-on-3. North Hall's kicking it out and getting an open shot.
Yeah, and the lead extended back now 21, 43-22. So North Hall has come on a run, and their coach, Coach Kendall, calls the quick 30-second timeout, saw something that he didn't like. And North Hall very well coached. Different coaching style than we've seen with Gilmer. We noticed they let the boys go into the locker room and waited a couple minutes and then went in there and then let them come out by themselves. And so whatever they're doing, though, they have the team playing exceptionally well, no doubt about that.
They really do. And, that pressure, that constant pressure, we talk about it every time, that it does wear down a team in the second half. And you can see that frustration just keeps coming.
Howell fakes the three that time. They have to respect it and just sort of threw that one away. Good job. A little help defense that time for the Bobcats down low.
That's right.
Brady Sanford, he's really playing the best of any of the Bobcats. That was a bad shot by Kate Carter, a little up and under layup.
He was in the right place then, and that's something that they weren't doing in the first half. They just weren't getting in position. I think they made some adjustments at halftime, and it's showing up.
If you're Coach Heiss, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because Carson Pierce is struggling. He's not able to get those shots and not getting the contact. He would want 3 fouls, but he's a player that you've been able to rely on. As if you're Coach Heiss, do you take that player out? Do you let him work through it? And so he's trying to figure out what to do. And you've definitely got to go with the hot hand too, like Brady Sanford. So even if you might normally substitute Sanford, you maybe leave him out there to maybe get some extended minutes because he's playing well. You're really trying to make adjustments to stay in this game.
Well, you are, and the thing about it is, Gilmer is just they're not making enough passes to get an open shot. They're forcing too much, and they're not running their offense like they need to do. And they've come out and run the offense a couple of times, and it's worked for them. But they've got to have more patience and just kind of go through the progressions to get the shot they need.
Brady Sanford, a little turnaround that time, and he's going to be rewarded by going to the free throw line. The foul called that time on Colt Ellis, number 24. That's his third of the night. And this free throw is another bugaboo for any high school team.
That's the fourth missed one that they've had, and that's in a game like this, you need every point you can get. That's something we didn't see in the first half. Kate Carter goes up and get an offensive rebound.
So fashion alert here. So let's notice a couple things. First off, Gilmer goes white on white. We like that. All matching tennis shoes, right? Everybody's matching North Hall with the visiting black, all different kinds of shoes. As a matter of fact, as you see Jeremiah Tellender come into the game, his shoes don't even match the uniform. Got a little pink, blue, yellow going on there. And we've seen some white and green, some little old school look. We've seen some black, all black kicks. And so let's talk about that. When you're a coach, do you want everybody to be uniform? You let them be independent, pick their own sneakers? How does that work?
Well, to me, that was a huge thing. Is I wanted everybody to match. Uniform, top to bottom, needed to match, and that was one thing that I made sure we had money to do was buy shoes to match, have team shoes, and that's something sometimes programs don't have the money, and kids have to buy their own shoes, and some can't afford the ones that others can. So just depends on what the school believes the program, if they buy them or if they let the kids buy them.
We'll say I don't see any cheap kicks out there on any of the guys. No. That's Sanford a little out of control that time, a little too strong. So North Hall with an 18-point lead, and that was a shove in the back that time that was missed by Tellender. But you cannot leave anybody from North Hall open. And Kate Carter pleading his case to the official, and he's right, he was shoved. But you can't leave anybody from North Hall open out there on the three.
No.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Carson Pierce thought he had all ball. I did too. That's his fourth foul.
Yes. First attempt by Campbell here from the line. I'm going to tell you what, North Hall do have some shooters.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
I mean, when you look at the scorebook, it's up and down. I mean, there's nobody dominating in the scoring column. It's spread out.
Campbell 1 of 2 from the line, and it'll be North Hall basketball. At some point, you have to imagine that the frustration's going to boil over a little bit. Gilmer's done a great job keeping their composure, but seems like everything going the way of North Hall is even the bounce of the basketball there going the Trojans' way.
Well, in the first half, I mean, loose balls went to them, and it just on the rim they were getting a sweet bounce.
So full court pressure again. Good job of breaking it by Gilmer.
There's a couple of different kinds of press, and you can have what's called a soft press where you're really just kind of moving, just kind of giving just bodies. But this is not a soft press. I mean, they're coming hard at Gilmer all night long.
Not a lot of space. Sanford finds a little space, though, and knocks down the three. Certainly the player of the night for the Bobcats. 4 minutes left in this Bill Holt Chevrolet third quarter. Gilmer trying to knock a few points off that lead and trim it down, but it seems like every time they do, North Hall hits a three. They get the steal that time. Braden Jenkins looking for a little crease, and the lefty, not able to get it, and there'll be a foul called that time on North Hall.
Heard that slap up here.
Yeah, that one was pretty clear. That was Tellender, as we mentioned. The big body out there. That's his third one.
Third, yeah.
But they have bodies they can run through. They're going to send another big out there and relieve him. So, not that the players are expendable by any stretch, but you've got a next man up mentality. They may not be able to afford shoes because of the number of jerseys they had to buy. There's a lot of kids over there playing.
They do have a lot. 1 out of 2 there.
And when you're trying to chip away, those shots matter when you miss free throws.
It really does. I mean, it's just adding up now. But I tell you, Gilmer's defense has done a better job in this third quarter. I mean, they've made some adjustments at halftime. Cade Carter's blocked some shots. They've got some rebounds. Simonton. That's his first. Brett Taylor going to the line for his. He hasn't scored tonight, so maybe he can get a couple of points here. Nice touch on the ball.
Quick shout out while we have a minute. Our elusive leader, I usually say illustrious, but he's been elusive lately, Danny Hensley. Not here tonight. He is celebrating a birthday with his wife, Dawn, celebrating tonight. So happy birthday to Dawn. Hope that they're having a good night together. Also, while we have a minute, we want to be a little more serious and ask for thoughts and prayers for one of our broadcast partners, Sid Pulliam. Sid hasn't been with us this year because of COVID and has had some health problems over the last little while, but he's in the hospital and in pretty serious condition right now. And so for those of you that pray, we want to ask you to lift up prayers for Sid Pulliam. And partner, if you're listening to us, we're looking forward to you kicking out of this and getting better and being back with us. And so definitely appreciate all that Sid has done for sports here in North Georgia during his playing career, his coaching career, and broadcasting. And we certainly are looking forward to Sid being back with us soon. (47-31) our score. North Hall continuing to hold on to that lead.
More ball movement by Gilmer, and that's a good thing. Not forcing shots, and they're getting better shots.
Tell you, I'm always impressed with the touch that Cade Carter has down low. He's a big body, but and a strong player, but great touch with either hand really down there. Well, spin move by Howell. He is a crafty player. I tell you what, we've seen him hit a couple threes and then able to spin around.
And he's not a big guy. He's kind of small.
Fundamentally sound, well coached. This is a good North Hall team. No whistle there either way. Do you like that no call, or does there need to be a whistle one way or the other on those?
Well, if I'm on the offense, I want to call. If I'm on the defense, I like the no call. As long as it's consistent, I mean, seriously, as long as it's consistent on both sides, I'm fine with it. It's just if one side's getting a lot of calls and the other side's not, in a game like this, they tend to let things go, and that's when somebody can get hurt.
See, so right here you've got a ton of contact, and then a player gets upended and tripped. I understand swallowing the whistle, but at some point you've got to blow the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about protecting players. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just about protecting the players and not letting anybody get hurt.
Yeah, Braden Jenkins thinks he's in a WWF ring instead of being out here on the floor after that possession. And then your reward is you get to guard Howell, who's on fire right now. Carter goes for the steal and misses. But Gilmer doing a good job down low. They've cut it to 14 now, so trying to get it. If you could get it to single digits before the fourth quarter, you'd be really happy.
Especially the cold start they had. They got to be a little bit more aware on the offensive rebounds and get in a little bit better position.
Still seems like Gilmer may be pushing it a little, taking some shots that are ill-advised instead of moving the ball, maybe feeling a little time winding down.
But they've done a better job in the second half. I mean, they really have. The first half, they just really did not run their offense at all. And you can see them slowing down a little bit, being a little bit more patient. And they've gotten some really good shots.
Braden Jenkins that time says thankful for the whistle. He was hacked by Howell. Really mild compared to the last possession, but I think a lot of that too, Coach, has to do with what position you're in. If you just kind of go in wild, even if you're hit, they don't want to bail you out. But if you're, in control and somebody hacks you, you're more likely to get that call.
That's true. The more out of control you are, the less call you're going to get.
Another missed free throw right there. Been a bugaboo so far, 0 for 2 on that possession.
At my count, I've got 9 missed free throws.
Final 30 seconds here of this Bill Holt Chevrolet third quarter. Fouls will reset. Gilmer was in the bonus, but Howell was in a mismatch that time with Carter, but the ball thrown away. Banks able to get it back. Now North Hall has it back. Back and forth we go.
Good job by Gilmer on the defensive end this time.
Somebody's got to get a shot off, and it'll be North Hall, but no bucket. So 49-35, the score after 3. Gilmer will try to keep it close after this. We'll step away and have quarter number 4 on the other side of our break. So Gilmer with a 14-point hole they're going to try to dig out of here.
And they outscored North Hall by 3 that quarter. And that's positive. And that's what you want to look for is just little positive things like that.
North Hall coaching staff curious about something.
I think they were kind of arguing about that they should have had the ball at that point.
Seems like a problem you should take up with the officials rather than the scores table. Kate Carter going to head to the free throw line.
You know, there again, they did a good job. They were patient, got a good shot.
So there's some underlying, little tension going on here. I think that the players and coaches from Gilmer are a little bit annoyed with the North Hall coaching staff, and that tension maybe bowling just a little bit here.
Yeah.
So maybe everybody can calm down just a little bit, play this fourth quarter out. It's frustrating when you're in a big deficit like that and trying to crawl out of it. And you don't expect North Hall to let up any either. They need to keep pouring it on.
Well, we go back to the free throw issue. They've missed 11 free throws. If they had made those free throws, we'd be in a 3-point game. I mean, really, they're so critical. And they're getting to the line. They're doing a good job to get to the line. Now they've just got to take a breath and make those shots.
Another thing, before this year in a normal situation, Gilmer be shooting a lot of free throws because, you already had 7 fouls in that third quarter, but now when they reset to try to speed up the game,
Exactly.
Now you're back to it. Carter up and good. Free throws will be critical down the stretch if Gilmer wants to make a comeback. And it sort of feels like they are. They're maybe on the verge of a nice little run.
They're chipping away. They had 4 points in the first quarter, then at 16 and 15. So, I mean, that first quarter, they just got off to such a slow start.
As you mentioned there, that missed free throw number 12 for the Cats.
I was going to say that should have been a walk right there.
Yeah, for the double dribble. Tragic Bronson alert, as Shaquille O'Neal would say on Jacked and a Fool. So North Hall now back to the press. Gilmer a lot more composed, though. They've sort of figured out the speed and the press and kind of what they're doing, and so.
I give Coach High some credit for halftime adjustments.
We'll give him a little credit if we have to. Coach Heiss and Coach Nunn always so accommodating when we need something. Thought that one was going out of bounds, and Brady Sanford says, no, I got it, don't worry. So we have it now 10-point lead. Gilmer trying to claw and scratch their way back into it.
See, that was one of those breaks that went Gilmer's way that was not going their way in the first half.
Oh, nice move that time, but not able to get it to fall, and somehow North Hall ends up with the rebound. That was a great move down there by Andrew Bales, and I think he was surprised when it didn't go in.
They need a stop here. I mean, they've made some stops. They need to get another one. Cut this thing to single digits.
Bales again with the ball, gets it over to his teammates. Great ball movement all the way around by North Hall. So fundamental. Drive the baseline, kick to a guy underneath, and that time Gilmer just with quick hands. But, player falls down. Sanford lets it ride. How about another break? Sanford is on fire, and, Coach, it is a 7-point game. Gilmer is back into it.
Tell you what, that's what we talked about in the first half. It's just one possession at a time, and they have done it.
Offensive foul that time. Everything going Brady Sanford's way. I bet that hurt, but at least he got the call. So North Hall going to take a timeout, and the folks from Gilmer here are loving it. It is a 7-point game. We'll step away and come back. 5:12 left in the game. So Gilmer here has cut this lead. It was big lead, and now it's down to single digits. So what have they done, Coach, to kind of just, claw their way back into it? The first thing is, and we talked about this, to lead you into it, North Hall cooled off. You don't expect to go, 8 of 10 from 3, and so they've cooled off. But what has Gilmer done to stay in it?
Well, first thing, they've slowed down on offense and been a little bit more patient and gotten much better shots and hadn't forced so many bad shots. But another thing is they've finally got some rebounds. They've made some defensive stops and not given up that many offensive rebounds, and they have gotten position on the offense. Well, here I say that, and they don't do it this time, but they've gotten some offensive rebounds.
Yeah, Sanford has been on fire too, playing exceptionally well on both ends.
He's really got him back in it this quarter.
Coach Kendall there stopped the bleeding a little bit, and so Gilmer had all the momentum. Now they've got to try to maintain it, continue to get stops. Oh. A collective groan from the crowd. I think they're going to get Ethan Banks on that foul. We'll see if we can get a replay of it. Certainly looked like there was a lot of ball there.
And, North Hall, they were moving the ball and getting wide open shots, and now they're not moving it as much. They're forcing more shots. But, okay, we're almost halfway through the fourth quarter, and this is the first 2 points of the quarter for them.
And notice, though, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Very important.
That's right. They haven't shot near as many as Gilmer, but they've only missed 2.
On that replay, kind of hard to see. Maybe a little tap on the wrist. I don't know. Certainly we've seen things more flagrant. Cade Carter using his body. Folks saw a lot of contact, no whistle.
North Hall's kind of increased the pressure a little bit.
Ethan Banks, good looking shot, up and good for Banks. 51-45, our score with 4 minutes left in this ETC Security fourth quarter. Folks, we have a ball game on our hands after what seemed like it was going to be a blowout in the first quarter.
Gilmer's defense has stepped up a little bit. They're not giving them those open looks.
That just a lot of heart from this team. They could have given up and, called it quits, but just to hang in and fight all the way back. Missed 3 that time, rebound by Banks. So Gilmer with a chance here to get even closer, down 6. Great pass, feeds it Carter. Oh, he can't finish it. And everybody sort of groans together on that one.
He had great position. I mean, he did everything right except make the shot that time.
Great feed as well. Carter there with the block.
And I tell you what, Terry there, he just got way too far under the basket. didn't leave himself anywhere to go.
Oh, Sanford misses that one. Okay, Carter does a somersault that time. Got to get up and get back on defense, though.
But, you know, talking about the officials, that really should have been a foul on Cade Carter back there. They wouldn't have had that layup, but
3-point opportunity here after that layup and the foul for Robert Terry. So the lead now back to 8. North Hall trying to extend it to 9. That was a big swing, air ball on the free throw. So they're going to send Tellender back in the game, and I think this move is for defense of Cade Carter. He is a much more physical player, you know,
yes.
bigger, broader, certainly at a height disadvantage, but.
You know, talk about he looks like a football player. And a lot of times, I mean, that's what you get when you get those football players. They're much more physical sometimes than if you just play basketball. They have that physical mentality.
Banks looking for a good shot. And a foul going to be called. Still nowhere near a bonus. I believe that's going to be the 4th foul on North Hall it is. So still a couple away from free throws.
You know, it's critical every time that the Bobcats score. You see, they were just standing there. They didn't really work to get a rebound, and then they've got to have a stop.
It was halfway down and came right back up. That would have cut it to 5. There's the break for Gilmer. That one thrown away.
Now, when you get some help like this, you got to convert.
I will say the officials are not finding the North Hall coaching staff as amusing as they were at the beginning of the game. The patience has worn thin.
Well, I think they're really letting a lot go
There was
now.
a knee in the back situation that time. Tellender, if you notice, just sort of kneed Carter in the back as he was going to get it. And he's going to get to the line to shoot 2. That'll be the 5th team foul. So on the next one, we will have a 1-and-1. So free throws becoming more and more important for the Bobcats. So 0 for 2 from the line that time. Cannot have that happen. Trying to come back.
He's 1 out of 6 this quarter. I mean, that. North Hall's going to slow it down.
And this is a situation where now, if you're Gilmer, you have to commit 4 fouls before you ever put him at the free throw line. Travel called that time.
You know, I wasn't a big one to try to, you know, just run out there and foul. Just like that, if you play good defense, you're going to force some turnovers sometimes.
So timeout taken on the floor. We will take it with them. 53-45 our score. And we're back here. Gilmer with an 8-point deficit with 1:47 left. But, Coach, we were talking on the break there. There is one alarming statistic that just keeps jumping off the pages to us.
14 missed free throws by the Bobcats.
You could do the math. They would not be trailing in this game, even if they had hit a good portion of those. But
I mean, they're just, that's a backbreaker. I mean, it really is.
But so there's going to be another opportunity for that, though, because that is foul number 6. So from now on, they'll be shooting free throws 1-and-1 here on these first 2, though. And so if you're Carson Pierce, it is critical that you hit this first one.
I mean, they're basically 30% from the line tonight.
Yeah, can't have that. North Hall has to have 5 players out there, so we'll try to figure that out.
I think what happened, I think they're saying Cole Ellis had his 5th foul, but
yeah, I don't know.
I had him for 4.
Pierce just looked uncomfortable from the outset on that shot, sort of leaned over and missed it. So that's missed free throw number 15. Man, when you're trying to come back, that is a backbreaker.
Well, you know, your goal is in high school, you want to make 70% of your free throws. And when you're shooting 30% and you've missed that many, that's just not good.
So Gilmer commits the foul, but that's still only foul number 3. You wonder, though, for North Hall as they try to slow it down. I don't see how that's not a travel when he falls down. Wow. So there's some upset folks.
Well, see, one thing that's concerning me is they're not, you know, there was 3 bodies on the floor, but they're not going out there with a towel. They need to go out there and dry it off.
So there's a bench warning on Gilmer. Coach Heiss sitting down in his seat, but when you're the official and you miss a call and the coach reminds you of it, sometimes that's what happens. So folks in purple not thrilled with the way this game is being officiated here, and understandably so. Team, we've been stuck on 53-45 for what seems like a really long time. So Gilmer still has to commit one more foul. What I was trying to say earlier was if you're North Hall and you're used to just up tempo, this taking the air out of it, that's got to be an uncomfortable thing.
That's right. I mean, that takes practice to slow them down.
Gilmer looking for the turnover or the foul. Somebody's got to commit it as that clock winds down, and so now it'll be 1-1. Braden Jenkins has picked up 3 fouls in the last 30 seconds.
I've got that as his 5th.
I'm not sure if that's what I want if I'm Coach Heiss.
Well, I think when they go back and they look at this and they look at the missed opportunities that they had after the slow start, I mean, they've done a great job to get back in the game.
Yeah, played with a ton of heart.
They really have, but they've had some missed opportunities also. And I think North Hall's going to go home and think, man, we were lucky to survive.
There's missed free throw, so we're still stuck at 53-45. Gilmer fouled, so Carson Pierce will head to the line. But, I mean, at some point, some free throws have got to be hit.
Yeah.
Pierce has been one of the worst offenders tonight at the line.
Well, if I'm the North Hall coach, I'm not happy with them fouling. I mean, you really just want to make them work to get a shot, take some time off the clock.
If you're Coach Heiss, you want Ethan Banks, Brady Sanford, to get some good looks at threes here. Ton of time still left in this game. Pierce misses again, short on the free throw. So foul is going to be called. They're going to get Ethan Banks for that one. At some point, not to question Coach Heiss's rotations, you would think that he would want to get Pierce out of there just for the struggles at the line. Just maybe find somebody that's a little more confident with their stroke because you're about to be in the double bonus here.
Yeah.
North Hall hits the free throw.
Well, you got to give the Bobcats a lot of credit for this second half, just really getting back in the game and cutting it down to, let's see, what were they, 7?
Yeah, I think they got it up to down maybe to 5 or 6 at one point. Now extended back out to 10. So somebody's got to make a shot. We see it, no good, and not able to get the rebound. So it looks like Gilmer may be content to just let that clock go here with 30 seconds left. Call off the Dogs. Hard-fought game when they look at this in the book. You said it was a 10-point win for North Hall. It was a lot more interesting game than that, but ultimately it was that big start that you mentioned that they couldn't catch up for them.
Well, when you finish the fourth quarter down 14, I mean, that's just not a start that's easy to come back from, but they did. I mean, they really did. And I mean, there's a lot of, there's some things you really got to work on, but there's going to be some positives to come out of this too, and that's what you've really got to emphasize tomorrow or Monday is the positives that comes out of this.
So some waves by both teams the other way, and they will head to their respective locker rooms. 55-45, the final 10-point win for North Hall. We're going to step aside really quickly, and then we'll come back, put a bow on this, and then get you ready for Tuesday night at Pickens County. We'll be right back after this last break. Jeremy Green back here with Coach Donna Enos. Some good games tonight. We saw the Gilmer girls really dominate from start to finish. We thought we were going to see the North Hall boys dominate from start to finish, but really the heart of the line from this Bobcat team, and they come back and they get it down to 6 at one point, but really just too much there. The key point, and we do have to discuss this, a ton of missed free throws that really made the difference at the end.
It really was. I mean, 14 missed free throws, as we talked about. 30% from the line. It's just not acceptable, but there were a lot of positives to come out of tonight, and I think that they can really work on that. Our scores, we had Brady Sanford with 18 and Cade Carter with 12, and then we've got Clark Howell with 15 and Robert Terry with 13 for North Hall, and it just, I just think the intensity to start the game just really hurt Gilmer.
Yeah, and the difference with that, this North Hall team, as you look, at the scorebook there, up and down, everybody's scoring. For Gilmer, it was Carter and Sanford, and then nobody else. Ethan Banks had some moments, but nobody else really able to contribute. And so this Bobcat team will rebound. They'll come back. We'll be here next Friday night for the Hall of Fame game as they host West Hall, and so we'll see if they can come back from that. But this Tuesday, we have another game for you here on ETC. Coach Enos will be with Dave Garner, and they will be hosting Central of Carrollton. So interesting there, a new team in the region. Looking forward to that.
It is. They have already been to Central Carrollton, and I think the girls really dominated them, but hopefully we're going to have some competitive games on Tuesday. Look forward to that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to do it for us tonight. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night just down the road at Pickens County and for the remainder of the basketball season. Thank you for being with us and spending your Friday night with us live right here on ETC.